All right, we continue now with our Great American Panel. Look, the president poll came out today. He has the lowest number of liberal support in his presidency, now only 68%, 39% approval rate with the American people. Emmanuel Cleaver said, quote, if Bill Clinton had been in the White House and had failed to address this problem, we'd be marching on the White House. There's a less volatile reaction in the CBC because nobody wants to do anything that would empower the people who hate the president. James Carville. You've got Mark Penn. You've got Senate Democrats saying no to Obama's so-called jobs bill. It seems like defections are en masse among the Democratic Party. What's happening?
And instead of them arguing what's not working, now they're going to play the race card, because that is a racist comment as far as I'm concerned. If that was a white conservative in the White House.
Or Democrat, they're even saying Bill Clinton.
Absolutely. So they would be screaming racism because they're doing policies that are harming black Americans, harming all Americans.
Why didn't the president, when the Congressman Andre Carson, why did
silence?
When he
right?
When he said that you know, Tea Party members want black people hanging from trees in America, why didn't the president come out and say stop it? Instead, his answer was, we're not going to be the speech police.
That is a good question. Why didn't he? Well, you didn't hear anything from Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, not that you would, but you didn't hear anything from the other Congressional Black Caucus members either. Only Representative West. That was it. But for Obama to not make a comment about it, I think he should have said something.
Missed opportunity, right?
Yes.
Absolutely, it's a missed opportunity. But you know something? That speech he gave today, that campaign speech from the Rose Garden, I think that's going to soothe a lot of ruffled feathers in the liberal wing of the Democratic Party.
Yeah, wait a minute. I think you're right. I think this was a speech to get back the base, which has been abandoning him, but it doesn't do anything to help him with independence.
You know, that's an amazing analysis on your guys' part, because that's exactly right. I mean, what the speech was, you think that he thinks for a minute he's going to get anything through this Congress?
No.
No. Right? So if you're going to get something out there as a message, you're going to get it out to your base, which has to be rallied. These people are not going to go to a bunch of right-wing Republicans next year, but he needs to get them back before he can work on independence. And the other thing I would say...
Thinking calmly and rationally, let me ask you this question. Serious question.
Why I'm speaking calmly and rationally?
No, serious question.
Welcome into the arena.
Serious question. All right. The only reason he won is because he had independence. He's lost them in droves. That speech is not going to get back the independence.
No, it's not. But
that voted for him.
You know what is going to get him back is that eventually you have to run against somebody, and if that somebody is Rick Perry, or as I call him, the Lone Ranger of the West. And people start to see how far, excuse me, with all due respect to your hat.
You mean the guy that created half the jobs in the last couple of years?
The guy that took over governor was 4.2% unemployment. Now it's 8.4%. But leaving that aside, the guy is so right-wing that it's going to drive independence back to Obama. I'm telling you right now, I'll wager you $5,000.
We already have a $5,000 bet.
We do. Let's have another $5,000 bet.
All right.
Okay.
Deneen.
There's a lot of concern that's going on in the White House. Obama's policies are killing our economy. Our unemployment is through the roof in the black community. What about his energy policy? It's a regressive policy. It's harming those he claims that he wants to help.
The Congress
he has a war on fossil fuels.
But
and
Sean,
he's got the EPA that is pushing his agenda for higher electricity prices.
Right, left, whatever. You know what we got a problem in this country? Everybody talks about the economic crisis. We've got a confidence crisis. In 2000, well, yeah, it's a malaise. In 2008, Obama ran on hope and change. That's a nice slogan.
Didn't he seem depressed today? He seemed like the wind was out of his sails.
He seemed awful mad, but you know something? Hope and change is one thing, but faith and trust go with that. People don't have faith in the elected leaders, and they don't have any trust in the institutions that are supposed to make this country run.
Particularly the Congress of the United States, and particularly the Republicans. I'll tell you, you get an elected Republican president, Republican Senate, and Somonex sales are going to plummet in America. They are the most boring, unimaginative, right-wing people I've ever seen, and they have nothing to offer. If you talk about plans, what plans has Obama done to hurt the economy?
Wait a second, Bob. The president today was talking about he's going to cut $4 trillion.
Yeah.
That's $400 billion over a 10-year period. That is chicken feed when you're adding to the deficit every year.
Chicken feed?
Chicken feed.
You know, that's the problem with you guys with cowboy hats. You always have to use the animal analogy.
Well, I got to tell you something.
You know,
you're going to cut $400 billion out of a budget that's so huge, and you're adding to that debt every year, and he's never talking about it.
You know, it's a good thing you're not from Texas, because in Texas, men are men and sheep are afraid. Go ahead.
On that happy note, with the words, you know, you make it all the way to the last 10 seconds and you blow it, and I'm not going to defend you.
But defend what?
I'll defend you. All right.
What is wrong with that?
That's all the time we have left. Greta's next. See you tomorrow night.